Okay, so what's the next thing on our task book? Craft RGB dye. Perfect. We went ahead and made a seed of all the colors, and in order to do that is actually pretty easy because if you look at the recipes, whenever you pull up any colored seed, is the infusion crafting with mystical agriculture. However, that's not the only way you can get that. The easiest way to get colored seeds is actually by dyeing colorless seeds. All you need is just the colorless seeds, plant it down, and a dye. So for example, if I right click on dirt and put seeds on there, use a dye, bam, white seeds. And you can do this with every dye, so pretty easy way to get colored seeds. That way you don't have to use mystical agriculture because that is pretty expensive, not gonna lie. Anyways, we went ahead and made seeds of all the colors, so now we have a small buildup of essences. So how do we make RGB dye? Good question. Let's see. Green, red, blue. What exactly do we use the essences for? Let's see. Right click on that. 4 essences make 4 dye. Perfect. Okay, so in that case, we could just draw from this. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4. And they have 4 blue. And then we need green. Where's green at? Where are you at? Right there. Perfect. Let's go to the crafting table. Put that in there. Make a square. Green dye. Make a square. Blue dye. Make a square. Red dye. Perfect. Alright. So now that we got that, just to make sure. Perfect. 64, 64, 64. We can make a lot. Oh my god. Let's do this in the crafting table first. Perfect. Alright, so we got what? A lot of dye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stacks of RGB dye. We have 9 stacks of RGB dye, so I believe we have completed this task. Craft RGB dye. Next is to craft a blender to mix the dyes together. Okay. I am curious about one thing. Are we able to make RGB seeds? Let's find out. No, you cannot. So RGB dye is the only one that you cannot color on the ground. Alright, so just something to note, you will have to craft these manually. Okay, so we need a blender. How do we make that? We need 6 diamond swords, 2 glass panes, and a flint. Make a blender. Just need 1. Bam. Now we need somewhere to place our blender at. Where do we go? We need to power this up. So let's go ahead and find an energy cable. Let's find an energy cable, plop our blender down, bam. Craft a blender to mix dyes together. Craft a printer to automate resource collection. So we can put dyes in here. We need cyan, yellow, magenta, and black to make blocks of RGB dye. Or you can put in blocks of red, blue, green in there as well. So this is just to get dyes itself. So I could make a crafter to make all of the essences into dyes, and then from there pipe it into a blender, and that way we can get automatic RGB dyes. So it looks like we don't need this at this moment. What we do need is a printer. So we need amethyst shards, 2 of them, 1 copper ingot, 2 nether quartz, 2 redstone dust, 1 diamond, and a machine frame. And a machine frame, in order to make that, you needed 4 iron ingots, 4 glass, and 1 tin gear. You make that. Go ahead and make the printer. Bam. Same thing as a blender. We need an open spot. Let's just put it on top. Look at that. He's painting. Okay. Printer. You put RGB dye and it will randomize into a random ore, I believe. We should get plenty of resources this way. So, you could manually make the ores in the crafters tier 3s or tier 1s actually. Doesn't matter, just in the crafter, so auto craft the block of dyes into ores, or you can use printers. You just need to set up farms, like how I did it over here. I do think it is a good idea to set at least one of these up. What I did over here was use Imperium farmland and a item user that has a Prudential watering can. That way, this little area has the crops growing way faster than the rest. If you have a better watering can, you can make it in the middle. You can actually, I believe, put the rail over on top of it. That way it waters the whole area. Like how I have over here. It is very similar setup. In this case, it's in the middle. I use an Imperium watering can to fill a 9x9 with water. and it grows the crops extremely fast. This is kind of what you want to do if you want to make the essences a lot faster for the blender. That way you can automate resource gathering. But yeah, this is a pretty good idea. Now, what do you do here? There's too many items going in there. Well, you're gonna need to pipe it out of the blender. So let's go ahead and get an item cable. And let's put a chest down. Plop one down. Perfect. Oh, we also need to get a cyclic wrench. Right click on the left edge. Bam. That way, everything is extracted to here. Perfect. You get a lot of different type of resources, so it is also, in my opinion, recommended to make RGB dye. That way you can get those random. Since it's RGB dye, you get multiple choices, so that's why it's randomized. But if you only feed it like yellow, you can get gold. If you only feed it blue, you can get lapis, and so on and so on. Definitely something to check out. Okay, so what's the next task? Obtain an Ender IO Grain of Infinity. Let's go ahead and look that up. Left click on there, check the information panel. Hold some flint in your offhand and some deep slate or cobbled deep slate in your main hand. Then shift right click a block of obsidian, try an obsidian or grindstone to produce early grains of infinity. Okay, so that's a lot to take in. How do we make deep slate? Let's start with there. Cobbled deep slate. It's 2 gray, 2 black. Okay, let's go ahead and get those dyes. Perfect. Cobbled deep slate. Now, we will need obsidian and flint. Luckily, I have obsidian and flint on my person. And we need somewhere to put this at. Let's go ahead and put it next to our blast furnace. Just to make sure. Grains of Infinity, hold the flint in the offhand, and deep slate in the main hand. Oh, shift right click. Okay. Let's go ahead. You'll get this little animation, but we are converting our cobbled deep slate into grains of infinity, I believe. Perfect. 62. Look at that. And I'm not going to do the rest, but you get the idea. Let's go ahead and put our junk away. Next task. Use a pulverizer as a catalyst in a pulverizer. We do have one pulverizer already, which I believe is right here. So let's go ahead and see if we can make another pulverizer. What do we need? We need 2 copper gears. 1, 2. We're gonna need 1 redstone flux coil, 2 flint, and we need a machine frame. And lastly, we need 1 piston. Get all of them together, make a pulverizer. Now, you don't want to place the pulverizer down, you just want to put it inside the other pulverizer. Now, in order to test this, we're going to need something to pulverize. So let's see, what can we put in there? What indeed? Let's go ahead and put some iron in there. Pulverize this. Perfect. Not bad. Left click. Speed up your machines by capturing the warden with the initial foregoing souls mod. Yeah, we are not there yet, so we can just, leave that there. So I believe we completed everything for age automation except for the last goal, but we haven't even set up a mob farm or any good gear, so we're gonna wait to do that. But yeah, we completed, what, 6 tasks today? I feel like that's a pretty good spot. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a good night or a good day wherever you are in the world. Alright, this was Skyfactory. Pretty fun, isn't it?